Good morning, faculty, staff, families, and students. I'm honored to deliver my 8th grade reflection to you as a member of the Calvert School graduating class of 2026. Franklin D. Roosevelt once said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." With all due respect to the nation's 32nd president, I would beg to differ. There are lots of things to fear, like spiders, heights, clowns, sharks, and speaking at large public gatherings. But my biggest fear has always been the fear of trying new things. So, when my dad told me he was going to put me on a boat in the middle of the ocean with a bunch of strangers for 2 weeks, you can imagine how I felt. Little did I know that this would turn out to be one of the best experiences of my life. A few months later, there I was, standing on the pier of a small port in St. Martin, a tiny island in the middle of the Caribbean, waving goodbye to my parents. I was utterly consumed with fear. Fear of what could happen to me while I was on that boat, fear of what could happen to my family while I was gone, and above all, the fear of having my phone taken from me. As I stepped onto the small boat and felt the rocking of the waves for the first time, I felt like I was about to throw up. Whether it was due to the waves or because this is when my phone really was taken from me, I'm still not sure. After a few icebreaker activities with my fellow sailors, we were sent off to bed. The first night was arguably the worst of my entire life. The bed didn't feel like my own, the cabin was stuffy and had a weird smell. The anchor outside would creak every time a wave hit it, and my cabin mate snored very, very loudly. Bright and early the next morning, we were woken up to one of our counselors, Luke, blasting music from the boat speakers. We barely had any time to wake up before we had to put our life jackets on and start learning how to sail. We were first tasked with having to get out of the cove our boat was situated in and sail to the nearby island, avoiding the giant rocks sticking out of the water on the way. When the counselors started assigning people to certain tasks, I was given the task of steering the boat. I was terrified that I was the one who had to make sure we all got to our next destination without any unplanned dockings. But when I took the wheel and was given some tips from the head counselor, I realized that maybe this trip wouldn't be as bad as I thought it would be. The next few days were a blur of swimming, playing card games I'd never even heard of, and sailing to places that looked straight out of Moana. I was beginning to settle into my new life as a sailor. I'd gotten used to the constant rocking of the waves, the odd music tastes that some of my crewmates had, and even the sleeping conditions. Throughout the 2 weeks, we anchored multiple times to small islands that would be allowed to roam them with very little supervision. It was the most independence I had ever had, and it was great. Every day, I grew closer to the people I was on the boat with. Not just my crewmates, but also the counselors. People on the boat were from all over, including several exotic locations. Maria was from Luxembourg, Luke was from California, and 3 of my new friends were even from Connecticut. Before I knew it, the 2 weeks were coming to an end. After our big sail back to where we started, we docked for the final time and said our goodbyes. I was filled with a sense of sadness at the fact that I might never see these people again. I was going to miss the close bonds I had built with everyone on that boat. As I reflect on this trip, it's hard not to think of the similarities it shares with my Calvert experience. 10 years ago, I was dropped off for the first time at school, carrying a backpack half my size, and I'm sure that I was quite afraid. I was separated not from a phone, but a trusted blanket, and was put with a bunch of people I had never met before. At nap time, there were at least a couple of loud snorers, but I'm not going to name names. However, the fear I felt at the beginning did not last. Just like I was when I was asked to steer a boat, my peers and I were given responsibilities that kept us engaged. Whether it was being the coveted line leader, starring on stage in a class play, or more recently, serving as an 8th grade captain. We expanded our horizons by learning about our city, country, and world through folder papers, research reports, and reflections. And we experienced great adventures, like ILP trips that had us traversing caves in West Virginia, sleeping in coyote-filled deserts in New Mexico, and ziplining through the canopy of a Costa Rican rainforest. Along the way, we got to know each other very well and built lots of close friendships. It can be sad when a voyage comes to an end, but the fact that no voyage lasts forever reminds us of the importance of cherishing every moment. And I have learned that your experiences on a journey stay with you even after it's over. The confidence we've developed in ourselves here at Calvert, our willingness to stretch our comfort zones, and the bonds we have made will last us all well into the future. We all have new experiences and challenges ahead of us. There could be a lot to fear about some of them, but I encourage you not to let fear of difficulties get in the way of trying new things, because it's in doing what is difficult that you might learn the most. As another American president, John F. Kennedy, once said, "We do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard." Thank you.